I'm going to show you guys really quickly how I cut the rhinestone templates with Cricut Design Space. So we're going to do this in two parts. This is the first part. I really like this design, so this is the one I'm going to use. So I've downloaded it and I've unzipped. So my next step would be to open up Make the Cut. Open SVG, import SVG. This is what we want to do here. Now I'll go to my downloads folder, look for the squad folder, which is right here. And here's the SVG. Now the cool thing is, you click that, it'll show you exactly what you're going to be working with. Open it up. This particular design, let's see, this one is a My File Addiction file. So notice how this one opens up. You got a green rectangle and you have all these little circles surrounded in red. That lets you know that all of this is not one file or not one part. This is each individual circle you can actually click on and delete one by one, as you can see there. Now, if I were to import this over into Cricut Design Space, it would take forever because it has to load each and every last one of those little itty bitty circles, and it's a pain in the butt. So what we want to do is merge all of this together, join it all together to make it one piece. All right. In order to do that, I click and drag a box around it to select everything, or I could have just hit Control A on my keyboard. Once everything is highlighted, come down here to the bottom, and right here at the very bottom is Join. Control J, or you can click this button here and watch what happens. All of those circles disappear and they become holes in one sheet of paper. This is what we want. This is what makes it very simple for Cricut Design Space to recognize what it is. All right. So once you have holes in a piece of paper instead of a bunch of dots, now we want to export it. So we'll go to File and we'll export. And when we want to export it to an SVG, because that's what Cricut works with. And this is the original folder. So what I'm going to do is select that one and rename it Cricut, or put Cricut at the end rather, and we'll save it. All right, so now that that's saved, and then this tells me that it was successfully done, we're going to open up Cricut Design Space. We're going to go to New Project, and then we'll go to Upload and Upload Image. We're going to browse to our folder, which was in the Downloads folder. We're going to go to the Squad folder, which is right here. And this is the one that we want because we put Cricut on the end, so we know that this is the one that's Cricut friendly. So we'll click there and we'll hit Open. And there's our one template with a bunch of holes in it. So see how quickly that popped up. So now we're going to hit Save down at the bottom, and we're going to leave it where it says Squad Cricut because that's the name of it. And we're going to select it here. And then we're going to insert the image to our desktop. And notice it's thinking a little bit, but it pops right up because it's not having to load all of those circles. Now, the part 2 problem with stupid Cricut Design Space is it imports it entirely too big. It may not look like it, but it is. So notice here where it says size. There's the width, there's the height. It's saying it's 12.7 inches wide by 4.7 inches high. Let's go back to one of two things you can do. You can either go to the page where you purchased it, and usually the designer has the measurements here. So we see it should be 10 inches wide by 3.58 inches high. So what Cricut has it as is too big. Or you can go to the folder where it is, and there's a JPG here. Usually you click on that, it'll open up this picture here, and usually it has the measurements down here at the bottom, but in this instance it's not. So when that happens, I just go back to the page where I found it on the website. So 10 inches wide by 3.58. So let's go back to Cricut Design Space. And remember, this should be 10 inches, not 12. So we'll highlight that and type 10. Well, if my numlock worked, 10. And if you click off of it, not click off of it, 10, and hit enter rather. And notice this automatically changed to 3.71. So let's go back. 3.58. That's not that big of a deal for this to be off a little bit. The most important thing is to be very close to what this measurement is, as close as you possibly can. And here, if you go ahead to make it, it'll put it on the mat for you, and you can cut it out very easily. Make your template. So I'm going to save this so that I don't have to go through this again. And now let's move to the next part, to doing pre-purchase templates with Cricut.